Reshaping our future through cities with nature and regions with nature. All cities critically depend on healthy ecosystems within and around them, with nature providing diverse life-supporting and life-enhancing contributions to urban communities. But as cities continue to grow, pressure on our natural resources is increasing at an alarming rate. It is within our cities and towns that communities experience the interlinked impacts of climate change, biodiversity loss, and health crises firsthand. But also where multiple opportunities exist to harness innovation, implement nature-based solutions, embrace a green recovery, and equitably redesign our cities. Global Biodiversity Outlook 5, a flagship report published recently by the United Nations Convention on Biological Diversity, underlines that humanity stands at a crossroads with regard to the legacy we wish to leave to future generations. While there have been countless positive actions and achievements, with rich and varied contributions by many local and subnational governments across the world, the current rate of biodiversity loss is unprecedented and pressures are intensifying.
The steps that we will collectively take in the coming months and years will be crucial. Subnational governments, cities, and other local authorities have an important role to play, not only in the development of the post-2020 Global Biodiversity Framework, but also, and importantly, in its implementation. With the current climate, health, and biodiversity crisis, and as demonstrated in the findings of the 5th edition of the Global Biodiversity Outlook, we know that it is not possible to wait before making transformative changes.
The more humanity disconnects from nature, following an unsustainable path and undermining nature's contributions to people, the more we undermine our own and future generations' health, well-being, and prosperity.
Biodiversity loss is escalating, compounded by climate change. But biodiversity is crucial for our physical, psychological, and mental health. The COVID-19 situation has confirmed that we need to connect with nature that is easily accessible. Cities have rich biodiversity. It is imperative that we conserve biodiversity in cities where more than half of the world's population live. The National Park Spoke of Singapore is making this a reality by evolving into a city in nature. We need cities with nature, especially cities in nature.
Many key initiatives by a host of international organizations and networks this past decade have strengthened the role of local and subnational governments in contributing to the objectives of the Convention on Biological Diversity. These achievements provide a sound foundation and justification for a more ambitious and active role for local and subnational governments in delivering a new global framework of targets under the post-2020 Global Biodiversity Framework. As we work towards the UN's 2050 vision of living in harmony with nature, there is a growing urgency for collective and large-scale action to protect the biodiversity in and around cities, to prevent irreversible loss and damage to the natural systems we depend on. We need to rebalance our relationship with nature and set a new nature-positive development path in order to secure a sustainable and healthy future for all.
Les villes sont aux premières lignes des changements climatiques et des autres crises environnementales et sanitaires. C'est pourquoi, partout à travers le monde, les villes sont déjà en mode action pour protéger les écosystèmes, que ce soit par la mise en place de ceintures vertes, de corridors de biodiversité, d'aires protégées ou par la plantation d'arbres. Montréal et tant d'autres villes du monde répondent présentes. Et les villes, tout comme les gouvernements régionaux et locaux, sont prêtes à un partenariat pour un agenda mondial ambitieux en matière de biodiversité, tel qu'exprimé dans la Déclaration d'Édimbourg.
Cities and regions play a critical role in protecting biodiversity and reconnecting people with nature, because they are where daily decisions are made that directly and often irreversibly impact nature and people. Where people live, work, play, consume, and waste. 55% of people live in cities, but this number is expected to rise to 68% by 2050. Cities are where the youth connect. 60% of our urban populations will be under the age of 18 by 2030. Cities are social and economic powerhouses. Hubs of education and research, innovation and productivity, providing many opportunities for collaboration. Key drivers of ecological change, where urban development processes are controlled and infrastructure development takes place. An integral part of government, closest to the people, ensuring integration and contributing to transformative change. Able to protect nature and restore ecosystems in tangible and immediate ways, adapting and solving actual problems on the ground.
We all have to join forces now, urgently, in a whole-of-society approach.
Cities and regions can ensure transformative change by committing to taking action and signing the Edinburgh Declaration, joining networks like Cities with Nature that will support and enable this action, redesigning and rebuilding cities, urban-rural linkages and communities equitably and within planetary boundaries, participating in events and the post-2020 process to make their voices heard, contributing to the decade on ecosystem restoration through local and landscape-level action and initiatives, collaborating with all levels of government and other actors, calling on their national governments and CBD parties to endorse a more ambitious decision on the role of local and subnational governments for the coming decade, engaging with communities about the benefits of living in cities with nature. Sustainable, resilient cities and regions that protect and respect nature create the foundation for healthy, thriving communities now and into the future. That's why we need cities with nature and regions with nature. Join us in reshaping our future.